Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Devye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naitiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 4, the confidential reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 66 onwards. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yadiyate Tatra Puman Apavrita Satvecha Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo Yadokshajo Me Manasa Vidhiyate. The condition of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead is revealed without any covering, is called Vasudeva. In that pure state, the Supreme Godhead, who is beyond the material senses and who is known as Vasudeva, is perceived by my mind. So, Shuddha Sattva is called Vasudeva Sattva, and because in that state or in that condition, Krishna is revealed. So Krishna is called Vasudeva. So once we are in that state of mind or state of consciousness, then Krishna will be revealed. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam, spoken by Lord Shiva when he condemned Daksha, the father of Sati, as an opponent of Vishnu. Confirms beyond a doubt that Lord Krishna, his name, his fame, his qualities, and everything in connection with his paraphernalia exist in the Sandhini Shakti of the Lord's internal potency. So as we know, again and again, these words are coming. So Sandhini is for the existence, Samvit is for knowledge, Hladini is for bliss. Krishna Bhagavata Jnana Samvitera Saram Brahma Jnana Dika Shabha Tara Parivara. The essence of the Samvit potency is knowledge, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna. All other kinds of knowledge, such as the knowledge of Brahman, are its components. So the activities of the Samvit Shakti produce the effect of cognition. Both the Lord and the living entities are cognizant. Means we know some things, but Krishna knows everything. Shri Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has full knowledge of everything everywhere, and therefore there are no hindrances to his cognition. He can have knowledge merely by glancing over an object, whereas innumerable impediments block the cognition of ordinary living beings. The cognition of the living beings has three divisions: direct knowledge, indirect knowledge, and perverted knowledge. Sense perception of material objects by the mundane senses, such as eye, ear, nose, and hand, always produces definitely perverted knowledge. So the cognition or the knowledge of living beings has three divisions, which are direct, indirect, and perverted. Perverted means not the correct knowledge. So sense perception of material objects by the mundane senses, such as eye, ear, nose, and hand, always produces definitely perverted. This illusion is a presentation of the material energy, which is influenced by the Samvit Shakti in a perverted manner. The negative cognition of an object beyond the reach of sense perception is a way of indirect knowledge, which is not altogether imperfect, but which produces only fragmentary knowledge in the form of impersonal spiritual realization and monism. But when the Samvit factor of cognition is enlightened by the Hladini potency of the same internal energy, They work together. And only thus can one attain knowledge of the personality of Godhead. The Sambit Shakti should be maintained in that state. Material knowledge and indirect spiritual knowledge are byproducts of the Sambit Shakti. Wow. Okay, little technical, very, very technical. So cognition of the living beings has three divisions: direct knowledge, indirect knowledge, and perverted knowledge. So in the material world, everything that we see through our senses, Prabhupada says, definitely perverted knowledge. Because when we see through our senses, we try it for our gratification. So it's a perverted. It's not the correct knowledge. So this illusion is a presentation of the material energy. Okay, so that is for sure. So negative cognition of an object beyond the reach of sense perception is a way of indirect knowledge. So in this Prabhupada says about impersonal spiritual realization and monism. Monism means we are one. We and God are one. So this is indirect knowledge. It's not imperfect, but it's not complete. It produces only fragmentary knowledge. It's not complete, it's an indirect. But when the samvit factor of cognition is enlightened by the ladani potency of the same internal energy, they work together. And only thus, which is the direct knowledge, real knowledge, one can attain knowledge of the personality of Godhead. So Ladani potency, personification is Radharani, but that is also the devotional service. So when they work together, then we get the real knowledge of the Supreme God. So the Samvit Shakti should be maintained in that state. Otherwise, we get either perverted knowledge of material world or the indirect spiritual knowledge of impersonal aspect. Aladinira sara prema sara bhavera param kashta nama mahabhav. The essence of the Hladini potency is love of God. The essence of love of God is emotion or bhav. And the ultimate development of emotion is mahabhav. The product of the Ladani Shakti is love of Godhead, which has two divisions, namely pure love of Godhead and adulterated love of God. Only when the Ladani Shakti emanates from Sri Krishna and is bestowed upon the living being to attract him, does the living being become a pure lover of God. But when the same Ladani Shakti is adulterated by external material energy and emanates from the living being, it does not attract Krishna. On the contrary, the living being becomes attracted by the glamour of the material energy. At that time, instead of becoming mad with love of Godhead, the living being becomes mad after material sense enjoyment. And because of his association with the qualitative modes of material nature, he is captivated by its interactions of distressful, unhappy feelings. So even in the material world, whatever happiness we get, it's a perverted, adulterated form of spiritual Hladani Shakti. Now it depends on what kind of Hladani, what kind of pleasure we are seeking. If it is coming from Krishna, the pleasure, the Shakti, then we get pure love of Godhead. If it is coming from us in the material world, for our sense gratification, well, it's impure, it's adulterated, and makes us mad after material sense enjoyment. It's going to make us mad anyway. In the Hladani Shakti, in spiritual world, it makes us mad for Krishna's love or service of Krishna. But here in the material world, everybody is running after sense enjoyment. That's why this Doha was coming to my mind. I don't know, it's written by Kabir Das, Tulsi Das, I don't know. Kana connecte so guna madakta dikaye. Ihi paye burai jag, wahi khaye burai. Or ihi khaye burai jag, wahi paye burai. Means kanak. Kanak means gold, and kanak also means liquor or dhatura, whatever it is called. So everybody is mad. Either they eat this dhatura and get mad, crazy, or if they get gold, they get crazy. This is material world. And this bhav, in the shloka it is said, the essence of love of God is emotion, bhav, and the ultimate development of emotion is mahabhav. Mahabhav Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani, Sarva Guna Khani, Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Shri Radha Thakurani is an embodiment of Mahabhav. She is a repository of all good qualities and the crest jewel among all the lovely consorts of Lord Krishna. So one develops bhav when he is under the essence of the Hladani potency. And the ultimate development of emotion of bhav is Mahabhav, which only Sri Radharani has. And that Mahabhav Swarupa is Sri Radha Thakurani. The unadulterated action of the Hladani Shakti is displayed in the dealings of the damsels of Braj and Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost participant in that transcendental group. The essence of the Hladani Shakti is love of Godhead. The essence of love of Godhead is bhav, or transcendental sentiment. And the highest pitch of that bhav is called Mahabhav. Srimati Radharani is a personified embodiment of these three aspects of transcendental consciousness. Personified embodiment. She is therefore the highest principle in love of Godhead and is a supreme lovable object of Sri Krishna. That is the position of Srimati Radharani. And in fact, in this stage also, we only study up to or read about up to bhav and prema, right? The gopis' love for Krishna starts from that prema stage. Man, Aviman, Adiru, and then so on. Slowly it goes up. Bhav, Mahabhav, Adirud Mahabhav, Madanakhya Mahabhav, Modanakhya Mahabhav. And the topmost Mahabhav, even in Mahabhav, there are many gradations. And the topmost Mahabhav is only Srimati Radharani, nobody else. Even Krishna does. Krishna has Madanakhya, Radharani has Modanakhya Mahabhav. Tayor api ubhyor madhye radhika sarvathadika. Mahabhava swarupeyam guner ati variyasi. Of these two gopis, Radharani and Chandravali, Srimati Radharani is superior in all respects. She is the embodiment of Mahabhav and she surpasses all in good qualities. So this is quotation from Srila Rupa Goswami's Ujjwal Nilamani. Now Radharani and Chandravali. Chandravali is actually a cousin sister of Radharani. Her father and Radharani's father, they are brothers. But they are competitors. Competition, Radharani, just like Radharani has her Ashta Sakhis, Chandravali also has her Sakhis. And they're always trying to attract Krishna, to serve Krishna, to attract Krishna, to give him pleasure. That's the only mood in Golok Vrindavan. But there is a difference in the mood of how to give pleasure to Krishna. Srimati Radharani is Vam Bhavya. No, I'm just saying, I read, it's all theoretical, not even complete theory I know about. How can I know about Radharani anything? But she is Vam Bhavya, means very possessive. Her mood is, Krishna is mine. Chandravali is Dakhin Vamya, Dakhin Bhav. Her mood is, I'm Krishna's. See, I mean, there is a difference in the mood. And to heighten the mood of Srimati Radharani, and she does man, she gets angry with Krishna. Krishna sometimes goes to the camp of Chandravali. So to heighten her mood, to make her more jealous, and then obviously she displays much more love for Krishna. So Krishna, obviously, he has to please all his devotees. And Chandravali is in Madhurya Ras with Krishna. So he goes to Chandravali's camp. And then Radharani gets the news and he is gone there, and then she gets angry, she sulks in her kunja, and when he comes, Krishna comes back, she doesn't let. There's so many pastimes like that. It just increases her love, her attraction, her affection for Krishna. But of the two, Radharani is superior in all respects. Now somebody might say, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they are Gaudiya Acharyas, they are all devotees of Radharani, they are all followers of Radharani. So they'll definitely say Radharani is better or superior. But no, this is actually true. According to scriptures, it is true. Radharani is better. But there is constant competition. And even among acharyas, see, sadhu doesn't mean they become like emotionless. And especially the sadhus of the level of 6 Goswamis, they're not emotionless, but they have pure emotions, feelings. So as we have sometimes discussed about Raghunath Das Goswami. He's one of the 6 Goswamis, and he came from Jagannath Puri, and he was living at Radhakund. When we go to Radhakund, we see his bhajan kutir and then his samadhi. Samadhi is at Shamkund. So Raghunath Das Goswami, when he was living at Radhakund, he was very, very austere. And every other day, he would take some buttermilk in a dona made of leaf. That's all. He would have the whole 2 days or 3 days, whatever. So once his followers, his devotees or his disciples, we can say, followers, because he did not initiate anybody, his followers, they said, Babaji only drinks little chas, little buttermilk every other day. So let us get a bigger leaf. He's going to only take 1 dona. So if we have a bigger leaf, dona made out of bigger leaf, then he can have little extra, little more buttermilk. That will at least give him some more nourishment. So they got a bigger leaf. So bigger leaf, and they made a dona, and they put some buttermilk and gave it to Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami looked at that bigger leaf dona. He said, where did you get that leaf? We don't get that kind of leaf around here. No, the followers, they were little, but they could not lie to Raghunath Das Goswami. They said, we got it from that village. I'm forgetting the name of that village. And those trees are over there, so we got one tree, one leaf, and made a donor and offered it. Raghunath Das Goswami got so angry, he threw away that donor full of buttermilk. And he said, this village is of Chandravali, and I'm a servant of Radharani. I cannot accept anything from that village. So this is the mood of the Goswamis. Of course, we cannot imitate that mood, but we have to appreciate that mood. He said, I cannot accept anything, even from that village. Although it's in Braj, everything is pure, but the village is of Chandravali, and she is a competitor of Radharani, and we are in the camp of Radharani. We cannot accept anything from the competitor. So that's why Radharani is superior. Krishna prema bhavita yar chitindriya kai. Krishna nija shakti radha kridara sahai. Her mind, means Radharani's mind, senses and body are steeped in love for Krishna. She is Krishna's own energy, and she helps him in his pastimes. Srimati Radharani is as fully spiritual as Krishna. No one should consider her to be material. She is definitely not like the conditioned souls who have material bodies, gross and subtle, covered by material senses. She is all spiritual, and both her body and her mind are of the same spiritual embodiment. Because her body is spiritual, her senses are also spiritual. Thus her body, mind and senses fully shine in love of Krishna. She is a personified Hladani Shakti, the pleasure-giving energy of the Lord's internal potency. And therefore she is the only source of enjoyment for Sri Krishna. She's the only source of enjoyment. So every kind of bliss that Krishna gets in all his pastimes, whether with Sakha, or Sakhis, or Mata, or servants, or whatever, the bliss, the source is Radharani. Shri Krishna cannot enjoy anything that is internally different from him. Therefore, Radha and Shri Krishna are identical. The Sandhini portion of Shri Krishna's internal potency has manifested the all-attractive form of Shri Krishna. And the same internal potency in the Hladani feature has presented Srimati Radharani, who is the attraction for the all-attractive. No one can match Srimati Radharani in the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna. So Radharani, attraction for the all-attractive. All-attractive is Krishna, and she attracts even Krishna. So Krishna's one name is Madan Mohan. Madan is a Cupid, so Krishna even attracts the Cupid. He's so beautiful. And Radharani is called Madan Mohan Mohini. Cupid is attracted by Krishna, but Krishna is attracted by Srimati Radharani. That is Radharani. Ananda Chinmaya Ras Pratibhavitadhe Stabir Ya Eva Nija Rupate Akalavi Golok Eva Nivsati Akilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamahambaya. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord who resides in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, who resembles his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency, Hladani. Their companions are her confidants who embody extensions of her bodily form and who are imbued with and permeated with ever blissful spiritual rasa. So that is Radharani. Tabir Sahib Nij Roop Taya Kalavi. Nij Roop. his own spiritual figure and who embodies the ecstatic potency Ladini. Krishnera karayaiche rasa aswadan, krida rasa hayaiche shun vivaran. Now please listen to how Lord Krishna's concerts help him taste rasa and how they help in his pastimes. So this, we'll take it up tomorrow. We'll stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी, जब हम लोग ये अभी ये जब जैसे आप स्टडी कर रहे थे तो एकदम से थॉट आ जाता है कि अच्छा जेलेसी हो गया राधा को, अच्छा गुस्सा आ गया राधा को। सो वी आर ऑलवेज थिंकिंग इन आवर ओन टर्म्स, यू नो, टर्म्स इन द सेंस जिस हाल में हम हैं हम वैसे ही सोचते हैं। सो हाउ टू चेंज दिस perception? नहीं, this was, there was no this thing, no tinge of materialistic things, all, you know, transcendental. तो ये जो थॉट एक सेकंड के लिए आता है, is it natural or this needs to be improved?
Yeah, improve natural in the sense, yes, because we are all materially conditioned souls, so we have those kind of thoughts. But improvement to chahiye, as Prabhupada explains, na, she is all transcendental. There is nothing, no difference between Radha and Krishna. She is transcendental, body, mind, senses, everything is transcendental. So all her emotions for Krishna are all transcendental. If she gets angry, this is to please Krishna. She's not getting angry for herself.
तो मैं तो कि जो फर्स्ट थॉट आता है ना वो भी नहीं आना चाहिए ना।
Purification भी होगी ना, लगेगा ही।
Okay.
See, whatever feelings we have, it's because it's there in Radha and Krishna. But their feelings are in pure form, our feelings are in perverted form. That's all it is.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Nice class.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी, जैसा आनंद हमें श्रीमद् भागवतम में आ रहा था ना, बहुत कुछ जानने को मिल रहा है प्रभु जी। थैंक यू सो मच।
Oh yeah, Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's why it's called postgraduate study.
या मतलब प्रभु जी, वो मूवी के जो एक इनके ऊपर जो एक फिल्म मूवी निकली थी, उसके अलावा ज्यादा कुछ हम नहीं जानते थे इंटरनली उनके बारे में। तो दिस इज समथिंग रियली, यू नो, गुड टू नो हियर। अच्छा लग रहा है प्रभु जी, बहुत अच्छे इसमें एपिसोड्स आ रहे हैं।
और ये तो अभी बैकग्राउंड बना रहे हैं कृष्णास कविराज गोस्वामी। अभी तो लीलाएं तो होनी है अभी महाप्रभु की।
बिल्कुल।
तो अभी सिर्फ बैकग्राउंड बन रहा है। थैंक यू प्रभु। चलो, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri